Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your NFL Week 3 pre-game analysis by your host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. Obviously, I'm not in my usual studio. My brother happened to have some guests over, so I decided, you know what, let me just leave the house instead of recording with people in the background talking so goddamn loud, playing dominoes. But I'll rather do it in my car and deliver it to you. Why? Because I'm a working man. Presented by MyBookie.AG. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Now, obviously, we can't recap or do a preview for week 2 because it's in the past. Although we can recap it, saying we can't recap something in the past makes no sense. But I didn't do a preview for week 2, so why would I do the post for week 2? Granted, we don't have the time. The game is going to kick off momentarily, that being the Jets versus the Browns. So let's preview who is going to win, and might I add as well, you can win you some money. Don't be a dummy. You don't need to worry about me. I'll be over at MyBookie.AG using the promo code Chiseled Adonis and winning me some damn money. So I'm going to give you the over and under for each game and who I think is going to win. Number 1, we start off with the Thursday night football game out in Cleveland, the dog pound. We got the New York Jets flying on a jet on their way to Cleveland to go play in the House of L's against the Cleveland Browns. Now, a lot of people are saying this is going to be the Browns' first victory. Why? Maybe they don't have confidence in Sam Darnold. Maybe they don't have confidence in this very young Jets team. Maybe they think, well, the Browns, they held the Pittsburgh Steelers to a tie. They held the Saints to only 21 points on desperation in the fourth quarter. So maybe they can go and take on these lowly Jets and get themselves a W. I think the Cleveland Browns win this game as well. However, if they lose, they're the Cleveland Browns. It's what they do. That doesn't really give you an answer. But I am choosing the Cleveland Browns to win this game, and this being their first win of the season, and moreover, their first win since they beat at the time, I believe it was the San Diego Chargers back in 2016. This is going to be a joyous occasion for the Cleveland Browns. Number 1, why do I say that? Although the Jets defense are very, very stingy, I really like their defensive line. However, last week, watching what Miami was able to do to them, especially in the first half, and seeing how the Browns defense played, Sam Darnold turns the ball over, especially back in his SC days. He's a gunslinger, but you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Jabril Peppers being back there, Denzel Ward being back there. Those guys, I expect them to be able to take away the ball at least once. Maybe not individually, but as a collective, I expect at least one interception, and maybe they can turn it into points. So I'm saying the Browns are gonna win this game. Offensively for the Browns, they have to establish the running game if they want to win. Because Tyrod Taylor throwing the ball, I think it's only gonna last until about week 6, maybe. There's nothing on my wrist. There's no watch here, but I think it's gonna last until about week 6. That signifies time for you until Mr. Baker Mayfield takes over, because Tyrod Taylor has been playing abysmal when it comes to actually being accurate throwing the football. So they've got to generate offense. For the Jets, Bilal Powell got to get going on the ground. He hasn't really had a day on the ground yet. He's always been, in my opinion, one of the better receiving backs coming out of the backfield. But yeah, bruh, you got to get it done on the ground if the Jets want to win this game, because defensively, the Browns are there. They're playing exceptional football on the defensive end. However, offensively, it's not translating the way they need them to. For the Jets, on the other hand, they were very hot week 1 against the Lions. They were cold week 2 against the Dolphins. We'll see if the roller coaster keeps going up and down and they're on fire on this particular game, but I'm picking the Browns to win. I can't give you a score prediction because I'm not going to do those today. I haven't really given those score predictions any thought, but the over-under on MyBookie.AG is 40.5. So if you think that both teams collectively will score over 40, I would bet on the over. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, so I would bet under 40. Matter of fact, I'll give you a score prediction. Let's go about a 17-14 game-winning field goal, something like that. But of course, we know how the Browns are with game-winning field goals. I'm not going to start talking about Zane Gonzalez because the man is unemployed. You'll stay tuned for the commentary for me to get on him. Number 2, we going on to the Super Bowl champions taking on the Indianapolis Colts in the game that Carson Wentz returns. I'll say this about the Colts defense. They blew the game week 1 against the Bengals. Week 2, they won down in, who did they play? Washington? Was it Washington? I think it was Washington. But Indianapolis definitely are coming off a win. I know that much. I can't remember who they played. I believe it might have been Washington. But nonetheless, they got out there and they took care of business. They won themselves a game. Andrew Luck is looking like a football quarterback. He's not back to his, Pro Bowl ways. I'm not remembering if he was an All-Pro or not when he tied Big Ben for the most passing yards on the season. Actually, no, that was Drew Brees. But I can't remember if he was an All-Pro or not, but nonetheless, he's looking like a starting quarterback again. It was abysmal towards the tail end of the 2016 season, the way he was playing, but he's got his feet back. His relationship with T.Y. Hilton is looking phenomenal, and might I add that Philly defense right now is not looking the way they did last year. Now, granted, they stacked up on that the O-line, the D-line. All right, they brought in Michael Bennett, and he's been able to bring some pressure here. Fletcher Cox is still there. I don't know if guys are still healthy over there, but I expect the Eagles to win this game. They're playing at home. They're at Lincoln Financial Field. I believe that's the name of the field, but you know, they're taking care of business. I expect them to go and win this game against the Colts. As for the Colts defense, I don't know what to tell you, fam. Colts defense is very average. Carson Wentz coming back. I don't know how healthy but you are, but the doctor cleared you, so you step on the field, you better play effective football. So I'm saying that the Philadelphia Eagles come in here and they win themselves this game by 10 points. Is it going to be 40-30? Is it going to be 30-20? I think probably about a 30-20 game. The over-under is 47.5. If I was you, I'd go to MyBookie.AG and put the money on the over 47. Win you some doggone money. Don't need to worry about me. I'll be at MyBookie.AG using the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Now, next, we got ourselves the the Bengals taking on the Panthers. This right here, I think is going to be a low-key but a very good game, and they're playing in Carolina. I am picking the Panthers to win this game against the Bengals. Why? Because the Bengals have started hot in both weeks. All right, no, correction. They started hot this past week on Thursday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens, and they started to fizzle out. They picked up steam in the first game against the Colts because they started slow. The Colts started hot. So the Bengals and their inability to hold on to a lead or, this past game in the second half, it was all Baltimore. It was literally all Baltimore. And the Bengals started missing tackles. They got sluggish. So if they come out hot and second half comes and they start to fizzle out, I take Carolina to win that game because Cam Newton is going to be able to capitalize. However, for the Panthers, you have to get the running game going. This is 2 games in a row you haven't been able to run the football effectively. Christian McCaffrey's doing phenomenal catching the ball out of the backfield. I believe he had over 100 yards receiving this past game. And Cam Newton throwing the ball, he's able to move the offense, but running the ball has to be there. And you're playing against a defense in the Bengals that has done, well against the run so far this year, but they haven't played against a team that's had, a running back who's going downhill to put some fear in the defensive eyes. So maybe McCaffrey, this can be a coming out party, at least for you on the ground, to solidify, hey, I'm not just a receiving back. So, and Cam, you know how he is when it comes to running the football. So those QB sweeps and the QB draws, I expect to see a lot of those today. Not the QB draws outside of football, of course. Keep it to yourself. But yeah, the over and under is 43.5. I'm picking this one to be over because both defenses, in my opinion, are going to give up a lot of points. Carolina, in example, last week they gave up 31, 4 touchdowns in particular to Matt Ryan's offense down there in Atlanta. So I expect the Bengals to put up some points, but Carolina wins this game. Next, the Saints-Falcons in Atlanta. I expect this to be a high-scoring game. The over-under is 50. All right, on MyBookie.AG, they're expecting a shootout between both teams, and so am I. Why did they hold the Browns, the Saints defense that is, why they hold the Browns to 18 points? Because the Browns offense is constantly struggling. But if you saw week 1, Fitzmagic showed up and freaking hung darn near 50 on them. All right, he hung 48 points on them boys. So I'm expecting this to be a complete shootout. Drew Brees, you know how that man, his connection with Mike Thomas is. They're going to put up a lot of points. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, I expect a big-time game from both of them. All right, there's going to be a big shootout. However, I think the Saints win this game because the Falcons have injuries in their secondary. They have injuries in their linebacking core, and these are pivotal players. Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, big-time players not there. I expect Desmond Trufant, is it? No, it's not Marcus Trufant. Marcus Trufant used to play on the Seahawks. He's retired. Desmond Trufant's going to go out there. He's going to do his thing, but I think it's not going to be enough because whoever the other corner is on the other side isn't going to be able to replicate the same sort of coverage that you need them to do. So I expect a big game out of Julio, I expect a big game out of Mike Thomas. I expect a big game out of the receivers as a whole, but I see the Falcons losing this game to the Saints. I'm picking the over because I'm expecting this to be a big time scoring matchup. So I would go over on the 54. Let me open the door to get some, if there's some light that I can get in here, or some ventilation. But moving on, let's try to speed this up here so I don't end up getting cut off because time is ticking. But we got ourselves the Ravens taking on the Broncos in Baltimore. Baltimore has been inconsistent this season, like they always are every season when it comes to starting the season. You'll have one great week 1, and then week 2 you go out there and stink up the joint and come out starting slow. I don't think the Broncos can move on the road the way they've been playing at home because they played at Mile High 2 weeks in a row, and Case Keenum has been playing well. However, this Baltimore defense is something serious. Outside of those 3 touchdowns that they had to AJ Green, what offense did the Bengals have last week against the Ravens defense? They didn't really have that much outside of AJ Green doing what AJ Green does. So I'm picking Baltimore to beat the Broncos. The Broncos got to get their run game going themselves. Case Keenum is playing all right for the most part, but I don't think Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders gonna go out there and do what they did to Oakland, what they did week 1. I can't remember who they played week 1, but I don't think they're gonna be doing that same thing to the Baltimore defense. So I think Baltimore goes, they defend their home turf, they win this game. Over under is 44.5. I'm going under. I would bet under, so go to MyBookie.AG, put the promo code Chiseled Adonis and bet on the under for this game. Next, Texans taking on the Giants. The Texans win this game. They're playing down in Texas, is where black names matter. The Dreadlock Powers will be on fire, all right, because the Giants are a very bad team this season. It's no different than last year. Guys are coming in here talking about, yo, you got Saquon Barkley, man. Odell is back healthy. Eli gonna be killing. Evan Ingram still young. Listen, the Giants are a bad team. That $200 million defense that they have, I don't know what the deal was. That 1 year that they came together back in 2016, it looked phenomenal. This year in particular, last year in particular, it's not looking like that. It's only been 2 weeks, all right? Things can turn around, but from what I've saw for the past 2 weeks from the Giants, things are not looking up. And on top of that, the defensive, or I should say the offensive line blocking for Eli Manning, good Lord, they are garbage. So how the hell are they gonna block Merciless? How they gonna block Clowney? How they gonna block Watt? Are you out of your mind? The Giants lose this game, man. The over-under is 42 points. I'm going under because I expect the Texans to win like 21-7. All right, so I'm picking the Texans to win this game. Sorry, Giants fans. Your offensive line, Eric Flowers, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, go to MyBookie.AG. Put the money right here. You see? See it? MyBookie.AG. Put the money on the Texans to win the under 42 points. Next, we got the Dolphins taking on the Raiders. This is going to be one of those games that's going to be very low-key. I expect it to be high scoring. All right, I think this is going to be the first week that the Raiders get themselves a W, so you can identify the Gruden grinders. All right, we got to find our Gruden grinders. Okay, so I expect Derek Carr to go out there and have himself a great game. I think this is going to be the big game for Amari Cooper. All right, the Dolphins defense, they're very, they're shady. All right, 1 week they got a good week, the next week they don't have a good week. I hope I'm still visible, even if I'm not. Listen to my voice, goddammit. So yeah, I think the Raiders win this game. The over-under for this game is 44 points. I'm going with the over for this game in particular. Next, we got the Packers taking on the Redskins. This is going to be in Washington. All right, this game in particular, I don't know why, but I think the Redskins can win this game. Defensively, I expect Aaron Rodgers to go out there and light them up, but I think this is going to be a shootout. And because the Packers can't necessarily stop the run effectively, I expect Adrian Peterson to have himself one of those games because he knows the Packers defense after all those years of playing in Minnesota. So I expect a big game from Adrian Peterson. Go out there well over 100 yards. I'm picking the Redskins to win this game. Game-winning field goal. The over-under for this game is 45. They're going to shatter that. I think this is going to be one of those high 30-point scoring games where everybody's like, where's the touchdowns coming from Washington? So yeah, I put my money on Washington. Next, we got Minnesota taking on Buffalo in a game that Buffalo has no chance. All right, so this is going down in Minnesota as well. I think Kirk family members going to have Stephon Diggs, and he's going to have Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph. They're going to have themselves great games, all right? And Dalvin Cook, I expect them to have a great game on the ground because this is the same Bills defense that gave up all them points to every single Dreadlocks member of the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I'm not saying the Chargers aren't capable. Oh, that's not the case. But the Vikings offense at this current state where we stand right now, they have more pieces, more names. So I expect them to go up there, and they're playing at home. I expect them to do way better than the Chargers did last week. So I'm saying the Vikings are going to roll. The over-under is 40. I'm going over because I think the Vikings going to put up about 35 points by their damn self. All right, so I'm picking the Vikings to win. Next, we got the 49ers taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs win again because they are very good in the early stages of the season. The 49ers on the road, not playing at home. They're not the same team, although they did win this past week. I believe they were on the road this past week. No, they weren't. Were they at home? No, they were at home. The Lions traveled to play against them. They were at home. However, them being on the road is a different team than when they're playing at home. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. Tariq Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, DeAnthony Thomas, Kareem Hunt. There's just too many names for the 49ers to try to guard and take care of and corral. So I'm picking them to win this game. The Chiefs win this game. Over under is 55 points. 55 points. However, the Chiefs defense still is suspect, so I'm going with the over. I think this can low-key become a shootout, but I think the Chiefs win this game by about 2 touchdowns, but the 49ers get their yards. They get them some yards. I'm saying it's probably going to end like 38, what would 2 touchdowns at the 24, something like that, 38-24, Chiefs. All right, next we got the Rams taking on the Chargers. Big time AFC West. I don't know why I said AFC West. It's just a West matchup because the LA Rams is NFC West, Chargers AFC West. It's a big time matchup inside California, but I think the Rams can win this game because their defense is elite. All right, just had themselves a shutout last week against the Cardinals. I expect that to continue. Are they going to shut out the Chargers? Oh, not at all. But they have a counter for every big time piece of the Chargers offense when it comes to being on the ground with Melvin Gordon trying to run the ball. Well, they got a counter with a great defensive line. You got Keenan Allen out there who's an all-pro receiver. Guess what? We got a counter for you, buddy. Who's that? Aqib Talib. Well, we got Marcus Peters out there. So it's big time counters that they have. I think they're going to be able to cancel each other out, and the Rams just have more firepower, and Todd Gurley will not be denied from getting into the end zone. So I think the Rams win this game. The Chargers defense, I think they do well and hold the Rams to under 30, but just by a little bit. I think it's going to probably end like 27-17. Rams win this game. The over-under is 48 points. You can do the math yourself, but, you know, Rams win this game. Next, Seattle taking on the Cowboys. We them boys. We going to the Super Bowl. I'm picking the I think Seattle probably wins this game. Matter of fact, no, I can't say that because they had some issues trying to block that the Bears defensive line this past Monday, so I don't think I can say Seattle can win this game if they can't block for Russell Wilson. However, the same thing happened with the Cowboys where they kept getting at Eli Manning, but that's the failures of the Giants offensive line, maybe not the greatness of the pass rush of the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll have to see. I'm at a stalemate for this game, man. I think this one's a toss-up. I can't even tell you who I think is going to win. The over-under is 41 points. I think it's going to be under because both offenses probably going to end up struggling a little bit because the Cowboys offense was very, very stagnant this past week. Outside of those 2 drives where they scored touchdowns, they were extremely stagnant. So we'll have to see, but yeah, it's a coin flip for me. Any team can win this game. Cardinals versus Bears. I'm picking the Bears, man. Sorry, Cardinals, you don't really stand a chance. The over/under is 38 points. I think it's going to be under. Mitch Trubisky and the offense, they haven't really gotten going yet. The ground game isn't really off and running the way I thought they would be. Cardinals is just a huge clusterfuck of issues. So yeah, I'm picking the Bears to win this game. Next, the Titans and Jags. Now this is going to be a very exciting game. A lot of people are saying, well, it's going to be the Jags all the way. They just beat the Patriots. Well, guess what? I'm picking the Titans. Why? Because the Titans sweep them in the season series last year, and they have split every single time. The Titans know how to play the Jags. Now granted, they might need Delaney Walker. He hasn't had great numbers against the Jags, but when he's there and he takes up a lot of attention from the Jags defense. So it's up to DeMarco Murray. It's up to Derrick Henry to get the run game going for the Titans if they want to beat the Jags. As for the Jags, you just got to do what you did last week. Go out there, get pressure on Mariota if he returns, or if it's Blaine Gabbert who's there starting. Whoever the hell's playing quarterback, you got to get yourself pressure on that guy. If it's not Mariota, I'm picking the Jags all the way. But if Mariota is there and he comes back from his injury, because I don't know how long he was supposed to be out, but I would pick the Jags if Mariota's not there. If he is there, I'm picking the Titans to win this game. So, and this one didn't have an over-under, so I guess you can't even bet for it. But yeah, next game, we got the Lions taking on the Patriots in Detroit. Patriots all the way. Whenever they're coming off of a loss, they always play well. The over-under for this game is 54 points. I don't expect them to go, blow the Lions completely out. However, the Lions defense has given up a whole lot of points this season, so I'm expecting the Patriots to probably put up about 35 points at the least. The over-under being 54, I think I'm going under, because I think the Patriots are going to hold the Lions to about 10 points. So yeah, actually no, if they score 35 and then it's 10, I mean, yeah, I think they're gonna hold them under 10 points. So yeah, I'm going Patriots all the way though. But next, Steelers versus the Bucks. I believe this is the last game that I have for you. I'm picking the Steelers to win this game, obviously for bias reasons, but because I don't think what's going on with Ryan Fitzpatrick is gonna be able to continue as long as many people think, because he had a couple of great games. All of a sudden now people are talking about, well, he's gonna keep killing the entire season. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think in this game, both defenses are probably going to end up struggling. I expect this to be a shootout similar to what happened in Kansas City last week, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win this game. The over-under for this game is, let me check my paper that I had over here. Is it 54? It's 54. So I think they shatter that. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win 34-31. And that has been my analysis, or I should say my pregame analysis for the NFL Week 3. My picks, yeah, sponsored by MyBookie.AG. So just head over to the website, use the promo code Chiseled Adonis, and win you some money. I apologize for the coloring outside. Let me get out the car so you can just see me right here. But yeah, those are my picks. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm gonna upload this several minutes before the kickoff for the Jets versus the Browns. I'm expecting an exciting Week 3. However, in contrast to this past Week 2, I think this is one of the highest scoring weeks that ever happened in football, so I really enjoyed it. But guys, on defense has got to play better. That's a reason why you're on the team. You got to stop the opposing team from scoring. So yeah, for the defenses this week, play better. But I am out. I was your host, the CEO of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and I'm signing out.